Okay, so for this section, we're getting into the distributive property. All right, so basically what the distributive property is this. So all terms on the outside of a parentheses, we multiply by all terms inside the parentheses, and they would come out as equivalent. So meaning if I have A times the quantity of, we talked about that in our last notes, the quantity of B plus C, that A times B plus A times C is equivalent to this. So if I have this section right here, -4, and then the terms inside are a positive x and a -3, I can do 4 times x, -4 times x, and -4 times -3, and that gives me -4x plus 12, because -4 times x is just -4x, because that's a 1, and -4 times -3 is positive 12. If you have a negative out front, think of it as -1. So then we're doing the same thing. -1 times x gives us -1x, and -1 times -3 gives us a positive 3. So -x plus 3 would be our distributed answer of this. Now, one method that I've been working with students, and I think it is a little more helpful and less confusing, is using what we call the box method. And this method will come into play at other times too, not just with multiplying one number by one number inside the parentheses, but when we have two numbers that are being multiplied together, and we do this thing called FOIL, which is an old method, but we can use the box method for that as well. So I'm going to try to go through this box method. Whoop, my thing is a little screwy here. So I'm going to show you how to do this box method. So the first step is to set up the box from the product form. So product means this is being multiplied by this. So I create two boxes because there's two terms, and then it's a 1 by 2 box. So 1 by 2. So this is my 1, this is my 2, right? When we're thinking of how to set up these boxes. So I put the -4 out here, and then inside we have an x and a -3, so I separate those. Now I just multiply these together. So -4 times x is -4x. And -4 times -3, so right here would be positive 12. And then I can write this as my final answer, -4x plus 12. All right? So we're multiplying the numbers, fill out the sections, and write the final answer as a sum, meaning we're putting them together with the values of the terms. So if I'm doing this one, I'm setting up my box. It's a 1 by 2 again, so 6. And up here I would put a 2x, a -3, and now we multiply. 6 times 2x would be 12x. 6 times -3 would be -18. So then in our final answer, I'm writing down what's in the box. 12x minus 18. All right, so I didn't go ahead and set up these next two, practice it, and try it. So in here I have another 1 by 2. So this would be 5. Up here, for these two sections, I have a -3x and a -4. And then I'm going to multiply these. So 5 times -3 is -15x. 5 times -4 is -20. So my distributed answer would be -15x minus 20. So I think this breaks it up pretty nice to help you understand. Another 1 by 2 box here. So we have a -1 I'm going to put, because that would be, imagine there's a 1 there. X and a positive 4. So we have a -1x. -1 times 4 is -4. So my distributed answer would be -1x minus 4. All right, so this actually works for any type of problem you would distribute. Let's say I had 3 terms in there. Let's say I did 5 and we were multiplying it by x plus y, 3y plus 5. And I want to distribute this through. Well, I could still set this up, but now I'm going to set it up as a 1 by 3. So I have 3 terms inside my parenthesis. So I would have x, 3y, and a 5. 5 times x is just 5x. 5 times 3y, 15y. 5 times 5, 25, and they're all positive, so when I write out this answer, 5x plus 15y plus 25. Right? So again, it doesn't matter how many terms you have on the inside, that's going to determine how many boxes you fill out. And so if I had, let's say I have a negative 5 times 10x minus 10. We'll just do minus 10. All right, so now I have a 1 by 2. So my boxes are going to be 1 by 2. So it's 2 boxes. On one side, I'm going to have the negative 5. On the top, so I'm going to have 10x and a negative 10. All right, so now here, negative 5 times 10 would give me negative 50x. Negative 5 times negative 10 would be positive 50. So my written out answer would be negative 50x plus 50. All right, so for this section, we're just going to practice distributive property using this box method. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about what happens if there is a distributive inside a problem. So if I had like 5x minus 5 parenthesis x minus 4, and we're going to talk about how we simplify that type of problem.